The average American thinks they spend about $80 a month on subscriptions. The actual number is $219. That gap, the $139 quietly leaving your account every month while you sleep, is not a mistake. It is the product. And the system that created it was built deliberately over the last 30 years by people who looked at the concept of owning things and decided it was a problem worth solving. This is not a story about Netflix raising its prices. This is a story about how a small group of investors and CFOs discovered a financial trick in the 1990s and then spent 3 decades making sure you would never own anything again. Let us start with the most honest moment in recent corporate history. In 2022, BMW introduced a subscription for heated seats, $18 a month. The hardware was already installed in the vehicle. The wires were there, the heating elements were there, everything needed to warm your seat was physically bolted into the car you already paid for. BMW just added a software lock and then, with extraordinary confidence, sent you a bill for it. People were not pleased. By September 2023, BMW dropped the plan. Their marketing boss said customers felt they paid double. He called it a perception problem. What he did not mention is that the factory savings from installing identical seats in every car were never passed on through lower prices. So the seats were baked into the purchase price, and then BMW tried to charge again to turn them on. That is not a perception problem. That is just charging twice. The remarkable part is not that BMW tried it. The remarkable part is what came next. They did not abandon subscriptions. They just learned which type people will sit down and accept. They pivoted to software features, parking assist, adaptive cruise control, and a product called Iconic Sounds Sport, which plays synthesized engine noise inside your electric car for a one-time fee of around £99. That is a real product. Someone got paid to name it. Someone else approved the budget. Every other automaker watched and took notes. Tesla locked features behind its full self-driving subscription. Mercedes introduced a subscription to unlock extra horsepower already built into the motor. Volkswagen discussed charging per destination for self-driving software. The BMW heated seat story was not a cautionary tale for the auto industry. It was a calibration exercise. But to understand why the whole industry moved this direction at once, you have to go back to 1999. A company called Salesforce launched that year with a simple idea. Instead of selling software on a disk, charge a monthly fee for browser access. No installation, no ownership. Just pay forever and keep access. Wall Street looked at this and loved it. Not because customers loved it, because of what recurring monthly revenue does to a valuation. A company making $100 million by selling products is worth roughly 1 to 2 times that revenue on the stock market. A company making $100 million through subscriptions is worth 3 to 5 times that same revenue. Same money, completely different stock price, just by changing how it arrives. Every CFO in America got a memo, and from that moment, the race was on. In 2013, a company called Zuora coined the phrase subscription economy and began selling software to help businesses convert products into recurring charges. Zuora's business is helping other businesses charge you more, forever. They went public in 2018. Wall Street threw a party. By 2013, the model reached software people used every day. Adobe announced that Creative Suite 6, which included Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign, would be the last version sold with a permanent license. One purchase, yours forever. After that, everything moved to Creative Cloud. Monthly subscription, no exceptions. No ownership. Your grandmother bought Photoshop on a disk in 1998 and still has it today. She is, at this point, the only person in America who actually owns Photoshop. You pay $55 a month. That's $660 every year indefinitely. A graphic designer who started paying in 2013 has now spent over $7,900 on software they still do not own and will lose completely the day they stop paying. Not an older version with fewer updates. Gone. All of it. Adobe's stock went from around $40 in 2013 to over $400 a decade later. User satisfaction sat at about 40% dissatisfied. Both things were true simultaneously, and nobody at Adobe seemed confused about which one mattered more. After Adobe, the dam broke. Companies across every industry looked at that stock chart and drew the same conclusion. The question stopped being, should we add a subscription option, and became, what can we convert next? And the model didn't stay in software. It escaped into physical objects. The Peloton bike costs around $1,500 up front. You also pay $44 a month for the subscription. Without it, you have a very expensive piece of furniture with a screen. The Oura Ring is a $300 titanium band that tracks your sleep and heart rate. The fee to see that data is $5.99 a month. Not the device, not the sensors, your own heartbeat locked behind a recurring charge. Somewhere, a product manager got a bonus for that decision. Whoop is a fitness tracker with no screen that charges $30 a month. The hardware ships free. You're not buying a device. You're entering a long-term financial relationship with a piece of rubber on your wrist. Now, none of this works without one specific mechanism. Companies didn't stumble into the $219 versus $80 gap by accident. They hired behavioral scientists and studied exactly how small a charge needs to be before the pain of canceling outweighs the irritation of the fee. They designed sign-up flows to take one click. Then they designed cancellation flows to require 6 screens, a buried phone number, a hold queue, and a conversation with someone's job title is literally retention specialist. That person's entire performance review is based on how many people they talk out of leaving. Cancel any time is legally accurate statement. What it means in practice is you can cancel any time after completing a small obstacle course first. The FTC recognized this had gotten out of hand and passed new click-to-cancel rules in 2024, legally requiring cancellations to be as easy as signups. A federal regulation had to be written for the concept that leaving something should not be harder than joining it. That tells you everything about what the default had been. Behavioral economists call it status quo bias. Subscription companies call it Q4. The result is that 66% of Americans underestimate their monthly subscription spending by more than $200. 42% are paying for at least one subscription they have entirely forgotten about. There is now a thriving industry of subscription management apps, products you pay for monthly designed to help you find and cancel the other things you pay for monthly but no longer remember. We need subscription software to manage our subscriptions. This is not irony, it's an ecosystem. Here's the part most people miss. The conversation about subscriptions usually focuses on value. Is it worth the price? But price is not the real issue. The issue is leverage and who holds it. When you own something, you have leverage. You can use it, lend it, resell it, or ignore a price increase because you already paid. When you license access, the company holds all the leverage. They raise the price at renewal. They change the terms whenever they want. They decide when the product reaches end of life, and if you disagree, your only option is to lose access to everything and start over. Your grandfather bought a car and owned every bolt in it. You bought a car, and a software update from Munich decides which features you can use this month. Your grandmother owns Photoshop. You rent it every month in exchange for continued access to the thing you thought you purchased. The subscription economy didn't just change how we pay for things, it changed who actually owns them. 62% of companies plan to convert at least one more product to subscriptions by 2026. The graph keeps going up. Your bank balance is the other line on that chart.